I belong to a couple contractor Facebook groups, and there's so many times when somebody posts something about a customer not doing something, not paying for something, and it can always be traced back to them not having a contract. So let's talk about contracts. All right, thanks for joining the channel. Like and subscribe, appreciate it. Let's get into contracts. And a quick thing, down in the description below, that will be a link to my contract that I sell. It's not going to be for everybody. We are in Michigan, so it's going to be based off Michigan, but you can see a template, and if you need to actually modify it for your state, you can go ahead and do so. It may or may not be available at the time of this video, but it should be available if you're watching in the future. So let's get into it. Now, contracts, you're a contractor, so you have contracts. In Michigan, over $1,000 and more, you're required, I think, by the state, by the state to have a contract. Whether you do it or not, it's up to you. I'm just saying that's what they require. For me, anything over roughly around $750, I'm gonna have a contract because that's money that I'm not really, depending on the job, depending on the customer, I don't really want to walk away from it. Because if it's $500 or less, somebody tries to screw me out of half, because I always get at least half down. I'll just hey, bye. Like, you can keep if you think your money, if you think your reputation is worth more than a couple $100, then so be it. So, anyways. But let's get back to contracts. Now, you should write a contract. It protects you as the contractor. You can dictate terms. My contract basically protects me, and basically it saved me a couple times. I mean, a bunch of times for, hey, I thought you were going to do this. Oh, per the contract, it's not included, right? So many examples. It's ridiculous. So the main thing what I see with other contractors, what they make mistakes on is payment. Like, contracts dictate payment terms, payment installments, when you get paid, when you don't get paid, when the last payment's due, all of that. It's all in writing. They agreed upon it. It's legally binding. I mean, that's the main thing for a contract. That's the big thing for a contractor. That's the big thing for getting paid. That's what we're all here to do, right? So why do you need a contract? Besides legally, you're required to have one. It protects you as a contractor, protects me. It gives me a scope of work, it tells the customer what to expect, and more importantly, what not to expect. It lists everything. It lists, your contract can be super detailed, what's included in the work you're doing, what's not included, the time you're available, the times you're not available. I have, we live in a COVID society now, so there's acts of God clauses in my contract. If something happens, we are off the job site. Job site access, if a customer forgot to unlock the door and we can't get in, we charge the customer, personally. It's every time we go to a job site, regardless of any work's done, it's $870 if we have to reschedule. There's so many things you can put in contracts. It behooves you to actually use it and have one, because it's a great tool. It's a great resource. And also, it lets the customer know it's on them. It protects them as well. You have a contract, so you can't get out of it, and they can't get, you can, unless you have clauses, obviously, but it helps both parties. But as a contractor, you can basically draw it up to help you out more. I know I had one customer who wanted me to include in the contract that I was responsible for their pets if they got out, which I politely declined. Absolutely, we do not. It's actually in a clause. If your pets are loose and they run out and they get hit by anything, one of my guys kicks it for, we are not responsible whatsoever. Those animals either have to be off the property or away somewhere. We are not responsible at all. We have free roam of the entire house if we need to. Most of the times we don't, but free roam of the entire house if we need to get access to anything to do work. So there's things you can add and retract clauses and stuff before you give it to a customer. It's a great tool. It's an absolutely fantastic tool. And the main thing is, it's what's not included is more important than what's included, because you have to have a clause in there. I think I have it somewhere. If it's not, don't quote me on this, but it's if the service is not explicitly listed in this contract or the approved estimate, it is not included. So say if, it protects me if I'm saying, okay, we're demoing this, demoing that, we're taking out this wall, and we'll be, this is what we're doing. And then the customer comes back, oh, I thought you were taking out this adjacent wall over here as well. No, like, it's not, you refer to, per our contract, these are what, it's this wall, this wall, this wall per square footage. If it's over a square footage, it's not included. We have, a change order, which we also, that's another video, get paid for change orders up front, all that kind of stuff. So that's what kind of clauses I have in my contract. If you guys pick them up, or if you want to purchase them, you can see exactly. I do pay for it. My lawyer, they revise it. I had to pay for it to revise it completely to make sure I'm covered completely, and I can add and subtract things as need be as well. So it's nothing that I pulled for off Google or anything like that. So it is what it is. Contracts. So just have one. If you're working legit and you're over a certain amount and you want to be able to dictate terms. Basically, you want to be able to dictate everything on the job site. Once you're on the job site, that's your job site. Hey, we're going to be here on this time, this time, and this time. And the main thing, like I said just a couple minutes ago, payment. Like you can say, half up front, and then after some sort of tile's done, we get another third. And then after this is done, we get more installments. And at the end of it, after you're completely done with the job, it'll say in your contract, once the job is complete, and underneath that it says contractor discretion. So I dictate when the job's complete. Now there can be punch lists. Hey, we got this little blue tape little mark here. Well, it's like that's fine. Job's complete. We'll take our payment, and then punch list can be done afterwards. Not a big deal. But we always use a punch list. We want to make sure our customers are happy. But it's in the contract, so they agreed upon it. It's in there protecting you as the contractor, because we all like getting paid. And now I will say, if you have a contract, follow it. So if you're not enforcing your own contract, don't expect your customer to enforce it for you. So I will say that if there's a certain day comes up and there's a payment scheduled, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, we're gonna get to work, but per our contract, we have a payment. And most of the time, I've never had a problem with that, because I'm always day before, prior day, hey, we got this going, and we'll need a check, because then we can keep moving forward. Hey, just you want us to keep moving forward, obviously. So just communicate. Communication's obviously key with everybody, and you have the contract to fall back on. I had, there's jobs where I'm like, hey, like customer asks me, hey, I forget. Let me refer to the contract to see what we actually did. Oh, okay, no problem. It's the brushed nickel finish instead of the glossy gold. So if you want to, that's gonna be a change order, plus or minus. So keep that in mind. That's all I have for this video, guys. Contract wise, leave them down in the comment section. I read pretty much everything, and if you guys have questions about it, let me know.